Well, to discuss what we've heard and seen in the courtroom thus far, we're joined in our Durban studio by Franaaz Khan, a lecturer in criminal and commercial law at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Franaaz, good morning, and thank you very much for your time this morning. Very broadly, so far we've had 3 state witnesses who happen to have been neighbors or in the neighborhood of Oscar Pistorius' trial, and it looks like the focus is by the defense lawyer has been on the credibility of what they are relating they had on Valentine's Day last year.
Good morning. Yes, we have seen Mr. Roux attack the credibility of the state witnesses yesterday as well as on Monday. I think that ultimately, that he's just merely applying the basic principles of cross-examination, which is ultimately to attack the credibility of state witnesses, to subvert reliability of them, as well as to, put forward his client's version to the witnesses as well. So effectively, it was actually dealing with testing the versions put forward by the witnesses.
Yeah, and that testing, I mean, for many of us, remember, this is the first time that in the media space, people are able to listen to the court proceedings broadcast live or watch them on television and listening in and hearing this. Is this normal that sometimes when a lawyer is focusing on one issue, they will come at it again and again? Like the issue of the screams. I mean, what screams did you hear? We saw the defense attorney there harping on that, especially with the first witness, Michelle Berger.
I think, yes, then again, as well, I think that the sole purpose of Mr. Roux's examination or cross-examination was to actually test the credibility. He obviously wanted to disprove as well as create some sort of uncertainty in her testimony. And I think ultimately that's the task of any defense attorney.
Yeah. Another angle he seemed to have taken yesterday when Michelle Berger's husband, Charles Johnson, took the stand, the witness stand, and I think he's going to continue being cross-examined today, was the fact that it looks like the testimonies were similar, and apparently that is not allowed.
It's not allowed, and I think it was also a tactical move by Mr. Roux by actually trying to highlight the similarities. I mean, by highlighting similarities in different state witnesses' testimonies, it actually shows that there was some sort of collusion or maybe conspiracy, and then again that would attack the credibility of witnesses. So I think that was the tactical move that he had employed to show similarity.
Yeah. Now he's gonna. Mr. Charles Johnson will be on the stand again today. Maybe we're gonna see more of that. Is it usual in such high-profile cases for such big names in law to be pitted against each other?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part.
I'm saying we've got a defense lawyer who's been in this business for many decades now, plus the state prosecutor Gerinel has also been around. These two are big names in law. I was just asking from a legal perspective, I mean, is this usual as you get big names like this in law pitted against each other in court?
Yes, I think when you're actually dealing with such a high-profile case of this nature, I think that you'd have to, bring the best forward to actually deal with something of this nature. So Mr. Gerinel, with all his years of prosecution experience, I think he's the best man to handle the matter. And I think that Oscar has a lovely defense team as well. People that are, that are at the ball and will obviously try and prove his innocence.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to have a lot more emotionally charged scenes as the case goes on. From your perspective, I mean, what is the public should be looking out for from a learning perspective? Because we had when the judge approved that this can be broadcast live last week, and he spoke about open justice. I mean, this kind of decision is good for open justice.
I think absolutely. I think that the media being granted a privilege to actually broadcast this particular trial, yes, it actually promotes the notion of open justice. And I think also it allows the larger community as well as society to engage in the criminal trial process. and to also it would also dispel any sort of negative perceptions that one might have with the criminal justice system. So I think that having this being televised and recorded proceedings as well, I mean, it's just in keeping with you know, the notions of our constitution as well, the values that we have enshrined here. So I think that it's actually it was actually quite an important decision here to allow media coverage.
Franaaz, very briefly, are you encouraging your students at the university to follow this trial and watch it closely?
Absolutely. I have been encouraging them on a daily basis, and I will have to actually go back after this interview to report back to them as well.
Thank you very much. That's Franaaz Khan, Criminal and Commercial Law Lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal.
Know more about your world.
eNCA.com